At the moment, I've logged over 15 hours inside Borderlands 3 and I'm loving almost every minute of it. Now with all this time sunken into the game, I've actually been able to stitch together 10 new and improved mechanics I think deserve to be in the spotlight. Some of these changes are game changing, some are things you might not really notice, but they all definitely deserve to be on this list, at least in my opinion. Now there will be slight spoilers regarding items, some characters, areas, a boss, but nothing that'll actually ruin your experience. I'm just trying to show off what this game can actually bring to the table. Now let's start off with number 10, the boss and enemy design. Gearbox took what we loved about the bosses in Borderlands 2 and upped the insanity beyond belief. Sure, in the start it may seem like the bosses aren't very mechanically heavy, even some may actually call them boring, even though they all kind of look unique and badass, but as soon as you get a third or so through the game, the bosses really seem to step it up. In fact, the one I just fought not too long ago may actually now be my favorite boss out of the entire franchise. Now this brings me to the basic enemies and mini boss enemies. They are all also varied, always seeming to mix combat up. Even after 15 hours of gameplay, I'm still running into new enemies all the time. It's definitely my favorite change to the game. Now there are other people who are saying that enemies are all the same. There is one faction you will fight no matter the planet you are on. I think that's what they're referring to, because there's varied enemies everywhere on all these planets. Dinosaurs, little creatures, it's insane. King Kong enemy, it's crazy. I could go all day. I'm only a third of the way through the game, so I haven't even experienced all the enemies. Now, I'm going on another damn rant. Gotta stop that. Now, not to mention the new loot you can get. Speaking of the loot though, let's go ahead and jump to the 9th spot on the list, the new weapon information. If you didn't know, all the weapons in the game are made up of many different parts, and until now, we've never really been able to look at these parts individually. Well, as I was actually browsing the inventory menu, I discovered now you can actually see what parts and stats are on your weapon, but also a bit of background on the manufacturer company and a little bit of lore, which I found really interesting. If you're new to Borderlands, you may be wondering what the hell is a manufacturer company in Borderlands. Well, in case you're unaware, there are several gun manufacturers, all of which are ran by a corporation leader. Now, I won't go into more details, but if you're interested in having a video that covers all these manufacturer companies and what their morals are, let me know and I would actually be interested in doing one of those. This change may seem like something very small, but it's something I personally find really immersive, which, as we all know, is a very important factor in my games. Now this next mechanic or change on the list isn't really new at all, but there's a lot more of it. Let's go ahead and talk about the Endgame references. The Borderlands franchise is known for throwing in an ocean filled of references from movies, TV shows, and so much more. Well, BL3 takes the references to the next few levels. Now there's bound to be one that will actually stand out to you, putting a smile on your face like it did me. One that I actually noticed fairly early game was Borman Nates. Now this was the quest for a boss to take down a Borman Nates. Well, obviously this is referencing the TV show Norman Bates, which is an awesome show. I highly recommend watching it. I may have to make a separate video going over all these different references because there's a lot of them, ranging from superheroes to games to all kinds of different things, so I just may end up making a video over that in the future. Of course, if you're interested in that, let me know. The more likes and the more attention I can get on this video, the more likely I will go ahead and do other type of spin-off videos covering the same thing. Let's move to number 7 on the list, the collectibles. For the first time in Borderlands, we actually have a number of collectibles in the open area locations. For instance, now you can find different vehicles and return them to a catch-a-ride station, and you'll actually be awarded with either a skin or vehicle part that can be used to upgrade your ride. Claptrap is also in the middle of building himself a girlfriend, and with you being his slave, of course it's up to you to go find the parts to help him build her while exploring the world. Now there are 3 salvageable Claptrap dead bots per map. This is how you get those parts. You just go and find them. They're little icons on the mini map or your regular map. Just dig them up, and after you finish, you'll end up getting a quest at the very end. And now this will take a while. I'm not even done with this, but I do like this. This makes you go to explore the world a little bit more. This adds to the heavy emphasis already on the exploration. This helps you go and explore the world a bit more, and you never know what you might find doing so. Lastly, there's a certain station that you can find. There's 3 of these as well on every map, and you just go to these and they will give you lore of the background of Borderlands, and it's actually from the point of view of the first Vault Hunter, which I found actually really interesting. These will also be an icon on your mini-map, so you can easily seek them out. The next 2 on the list are located in Sanctuary 3. Let's first talk about number 6, the shooting range. We've had a shooting range in BL2, but not as an actual minigame. This isn't an in-depth minigame, but it does actually make target practice a little more entertaining. And with a billion weapons, this is very much appreciated. Testing out builds is very easy to do with this small little improvement. A shooting range is awesome, but you want to know what's better than a shooting range? Well, of course, a place to waste all your hard-earned credits. I'm of course referring to Moxie's place. Let's go ahead and talk about the slots. Again, slots isn't something new to the Borderlands universe, but before they were actually boring. Now it's like an actual slot machine game you could find online. At the top of these machines, it will actually tell you what rewards you can get from what spins, which is great. Now there are 4 different machines, all with their own special items, like getting a legendary grenade mod, or a legendary shield mod, or a legendary weapon. There's slot machines for each one of those categories, and I find this awesome. These slot machines aren't just a gimmick. If you get lucky, you can actually get some really good weapons, grenades, shield mods, relics, cosmetics, and much more. Now I love this feature, and I've wasted too much time playing them, and I don't really regret it, but make sure to go with deep pockets and bring a lot of currency because it gets expensive. Weapons are very, very important to Borderlands universe, and this third entry into the series definitely triples down on that aspect, especially regarding our 4th on this list, the Anointed Weapons. This system is one that makes the already awesome weapons in the game even better. Anointed Weapons are special drops that have really, really unique stats catered to your actual character's abilities. These are some of the most badass weapons you can find, but you have to get pretty lucky because they are quite rare. Now if you didn't know, you can buy some of these at Crazy Earl's shop on Sanctuary. It will cost you some iridium, but they are most definitely worth the price. Speaking of, let's go ahead and talk about the new Cosmetic Drops paired with the ability to actually be able to farm the iridium now. I love the addition of the new cosmetic store. Having the ability to actually buy what you want is a huge deal for character customization, but the game still drops many cosmetic items and there's a shitload of them. But that damn Crazy Earl likes to charge a lot of iridium for him. Luckily, after a certain story element in the game, you'll start to earn the ability to actually mine these in the form of crystal formations. You'll see these purple crystals scattered on all the different planets. This is what they are. This is a lifesaver and actually adds even more depth to the customization. I am so glad to see that they actually added in this change. It adds more ways than one to get the iridium, and you can get it at the pace you want to get it at, and that's fantastic if you ask me. Now the second on this list actually helps out with the customization aspect too. Let's go ahead and talk about the new vehicle systems. I mentioned earlier you can acquire vehicle parts to upgrade your ride. Well, you can actually do much more than just that to customize your experience. Not only can you select specific skin decals, but now you can actually change colors of different aspects of whatever vehicle you choose. Now this is awesome. This makes driving a vehicle actually a lot more entertaining because you're looking at the creation you made. And there's a good amount of cool little skins out there to obtain. And not only just the skins, as I mentioned, the upgrade parts. Well, you have different things like weapons, armors, engines, tires. You can add all this to your vehicle to improve it even further. But hands down, one of the most important changes to the game, our number 1 spot on the list, the location variety. I know I mentioned it in my first impressions, but since then I've actually learned that the location variety is deeper than even I imagined. This includes forest planets, desert wasteland planets, large futuristic cyberpunk cities, abandoned prisons, and even a moon with low gravity, which actually affects gameplay in a pretty big way. Now this is only some of what I've experienced, and as I said before, I'm only a third of the way through this game, so I have so much more unique areas to discover. If anything, this gets me excited to see what the special events and DLC will bring to the already varied table. This will be awesome. The DLCs are said to be even better than BL2s, or at least at the same level of the best DLCs that came out for that game, which is incredible, and it just gets me that much more hyped to play through the game and experience what there is to experience and get ready for what's to come. Of course, there are so many more things about Borderlands 3 that's to love rather than just the 10 on this list. There's a huge list. I could come up with a top 50 list, which I may actually end up doing that at some point. Now, thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any videos you'd be interested in me covering, any games or whatever, just let me know. If there's a certain style you want me to work on my videos with, go ahead and give your opinion on it, and I may actually pick it up and try that out. Go ahead and drop your suggestions below. I love talking to you guys, so let's go ahead and talk about Borderlands 3. Are you guys enjoying it? Are you guys having fun with the game? Are you playing the game? What do you not like about it? What do you like about it? Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next video. I got broads in Atlanta, just to lean the family. Credit